Today we're going to be covering the 15 sneaky starts for Week 8. And what we do is we go game by game, matchup by matchup, and try to find that jabroni player, that less likely player to exceed expectations and help us in our fantasy lineups. Most of these should not hit, but we're trying to go for the gusto and hit that home run with that random player who sneaks up on us. That's why they are sneaky starts. This helps you more for deeper leagues. This helps you more with setting DFS lineups. This also helps you think outside the box or find those random players off the waiver wire to help you fix your lineup. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button, tap it with your finger on your phone, click it with your mouse on the computer, whatever you need to do to get the job done. We're covering the waiver wire extensively every week, more than any other channel out there. We're helping you set those lineups. We're helping you in the offseason with your dynasty leagues and everything else. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Let's look at the sneaky starts for Week 8 here. First game we're looking at here, Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. This could be an ugly game, or if it breaks, it could go the other way. I could see the Eagles scoring a lot of points here and the Commanders trying to keep up, but it could be nasty as well. Could break either way. That's why we got a 43.5 over-under here, but a loose spread. That being said, let's look at Jahan Dotson right now. Curtis Samuel's questionable right now, but he could be in the game. Dotson's averaging 5.6 targets a game and a 16.5% target share. The ball's going to go his way. He's going to get some targets. You can throw on the Eagles a little bit. He might get some opportunities and maybe enough for him to break this drought and get us in double-digit PPR fantasy points. Now we're looking at the Atlanta Falcons at the Tennessee Titans. When I see these two teams in a matchup, I expect nasty. I expect a game that I don't want to watch, a game where I don't want any players involved except for like Bijan Robinson. We have a 35 over-under. Vegas is saying that too. That being said, let's look at Jonnu Smith. 5 targets a game, 16% target share. This game should be a pass funnel because the Titans' run defense is rock solid here. So the Falcons are going to have to throw it a little bit more. Maybe Jonnu Smith gets a little bit of extra targets in this matchup. Now we're looking at the New York Jets at the New York Giants. Another ugly one. The over-under says it, 36.5 over-under. So Vegas agrees with that. The Jets' D is tough. It's tough to move the ball on, but the Giants are doing a little bit better with Saquon Barkley, but they're also hard to rely on. So we're going to be looking at Wan'Dale Robinson. 5.4 targets a game, 17.8% target share. The target share has dropped a little bit. However, prior to last week, week 7, he was pushing about a 20% target share. He's running a good bit of routes. Started off coming back from the knee injury. Things were starting to ramp up. We're getting a little bit of production from him, but things are still a little bit slow. But again, with the many routes he runs and the targets he gets, we could see him pop off from time to time. Now we're looking at the Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers, 43.5 over-under. And I bet this game script breaks a little bit. I bet you the Texans score some points. I bet you Carolina tries to keep up. This one could be a very fun one to watch. That being said, Tank Dell is back, baby. He's getting target share. He's running a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of opportunity. And he has a good connection with CJ Stroud. He's on waivers in a lot of leagues. Maybe I got to do a unique video on him. Maybe I'll bust one out today. But Tank Dell is back. He was a huge point getter when he was healthy, getting targets, getting a lot of running the offense. CJ Stroud loves him. Tank Dell's on the come up. Now we're looking at the Patriots at Dolphins. We're starting our Dolphins. We have a 46.5 over-under. Patriots have to keep up. This one could be a rout. That being said, Jeff Wilson might be getting some more opportunity in this game as they're ramping up his workload. Raheem Mostert is expected to play, but he's been dealing with an injury. That's more incentive for them to give Wilson more workload in this contest. That could be happening, so be on the lookout for him. Now we're looking at the Rams at the Dallas Cowboys. We got a 45.5 over-under, and it's right there in the middle. If you're pushing around 50 on the over-under, that means it's pretty much going to be a high-scoring game. Vegas is saying that. If it's 40 or less, they're saying it's low-scoring, so we're right in the middle. This tells us Vegas doesn't really know because the defenses could lock it down, We got a lot of firepower on both offenses, but a sneaky player to look at right now, Royce Freeman. Darrell Henderson's still on the practice squad. He might get bumped up between now and the time you watch this video, or maybe a little later. 12 touches last week. Maybe some goal line work, because they can move the football. We got Puka, we got Cooper Kupp. We get around the goal line. He could be getting some touches. Again, he's the 238-pound running back here. Catch the ball in the backfield. We got good size and just athleticism. That could happen here. Now we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. 41 over-under in this contest. They're saying it's going to be a lower-scoring game. I see this game script potentially breaking. We got the Steelers at home. The Jaguars can move the ball. You can throw in the Steelers. I could see that happening. That being said, Jaylen Warren catching some passes out of the backfield. You can throw on the Jaguars, but it's hard to run on them, creating a little bit of a pass funnel, and you're going to be checking it down to Warren a little bit in this scenario. If that holds true, he's getting 4.5 targets a game, 14.8% target share, running a fair amount of routes because he's still sharing the backfield with Najee Harris, and he's still running about the same amount of routes as well. Warren gets more targets, though, in the passing game. Look for him to get some opportunities. Now we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. The Vikings can push it downfield, and the Packers are hurting at wide receiver a little bit. So let's look at them here. And Aaron Jones, because Christian Watson's hurt. Luke Musgrave's hurt. He was seen in a walking boot. He might play. He might not. Who knows? But Jones is back. He's healthy. Look for him to get more touches in this game, especially in the passing game. That's where he excels at, because they're going to have to do something through the air. Maybe he gets a few more checkdowns. Now we're looking at the Saints at the Colts with a 44 over-under. This one could hit that over-under. It could hit the over on that. It could exceed that pretty easily. I could see that happening. It could also be ugly, but Minshew's moving the ball pretty well, and the Saints will chuck it downfield. That being said, Rashid Shaheed, 16.2 average depth of target, 5 targets a game. He's good to catch one deep pass every now and again. If that happens, you get a splash week. You can also throw in the Colts. So Shaheed is a guy you may want to throw in lineups if you're hurting. Browns at Seahawks. I don't want anybody in this game, but we do have a surprise option, Jerome Ford, because we thought he was out. He's practicing. He might still be out, but he's practicing. He's looking good. He's looking good on the ankle. He might show up like Superman, start getting touches. 48.3% opportunity share. Let's see what happens, but keep an eye on Jerome Ford. Now we're looking at the Ravens at the Cardinals. 44.5 over-under in this one. This could be a sneaky good game. This could be fireworks. It could be ugly. It's one of those matchups where you could see it go either way. But looking at this matchup, Odell Beckham. 7 targets last week. 5 targets a game in his last 3 games. He's starting to get some workload here. He's looking healthy. Maybe he could be a surprise option for you. Now we're looking at the Bengals at the 49ers. Another matchup where you're just going towards the studs. But one guy you may want to think about here, just in case, and that's Tyler Boyd. 7.6 targets per game in his last 5 games. This could be a progression funnel as Joe Burrow has to work through his progressions going against a tough defense. Boyd could be that option, getting a couple extra targets in this matchup, which could allow him to score more fantasy points than expected. Chiefs at Broncos. We should expect the Chiefs to rout the Broncos in this one. Broncos did not do well in their last contest, only scored 9 points. They're at home, so maybe they can get you 16, 18, 20 or something like that. 46 over under, but Rashee Rice. Again, 5.4 targets a game in his last 5 games. Keep chugging, Rice. You're scoring fantasy points here, but not at a high clip. But the volume's there. The offense is explosive. And a lot of people are questioning him in their lineups already. So he's kind of a sneaky option still. Now we're looking at the Bears at the Chargers. 46.5 over under. And this one could break. It could break big. It could be ugly. It's one of those matchups. Because the Chargers can push the pace. You can run on the Bears. I could see this one breaking. I could see this one being a high-scoring affair. I can also see it being low-scoring because we got a backup quarterback. The Chargers might get stifled a little bit. But that being said, Rashawn Johnson's back. I'm watching to see what he's doing this week. You can run on the Chargers. He's getting opportunity when he's on the field. He could be the lead back, or it could be a 1A, 1B situation with him and Foreman. We got to pay attention to that. But Rashawn Johnson's back. and he's a guy that might do things this week in a favorable matchup. Now we're looking at the Raiders versus the Detroit Lions. We got a 46 over-under here. Spread's kind of loose, but this game could break open because both teams can put up points, but both teams can hold the other team down. That being said, let's look at Michael Mayer. Jimmy G is back. He's practicing. 4.3 targets a game in his last 3 games for Michael Mayer, but Jimmy G might float some extra targets in Mayer's way. We could see that happening. Tough defense to play against. They're going to have to go through their progressions a little bit. Michael Mayer seeing more snaps, more routes. He could be on the upswing, and those are 15 sneaky starts for Week 8. Let me know that jabroni player you're putting in your lineups right now. Comment that below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.